I'm focusing in a new direction because most people need it. Yeah, I said it. I'm trying to find out why intelligent people do courses with nefarious people. Sometimes the person is not nefarious, but the beings that they work with are. So the result is the same. So why do it? Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. We have an exciting show for you and some great news. So hang tight. Let's see what happens.
So, like I said, I'm focusing in a new direction because I see a lot of people need it. Trying to find out why people who are otherwise intelligent do courses with people who are nefarious and out to get them. And sometimes the person themselves that they work with is not dark, or they are in the light, but the beings they work with aren't. And the result is the same. So let me explain with a real story. And the names are changed to protect the guilty. And then we have some dreams from this person. So a graduate of ours told us that Joey was feeling quite depressed, almost suicidal, and had been feeling that way for nearly 2 weeks. I said I'd clear her and got a text from Joey almost immediately saying she couldn't believe the difference in how she felt. I met with her to find out what had happened because this is my new direction. And she had met and paid someone to install a protection within her that meant she would remain clear of infiltration and attack. Well, clearly it didn't.
Wouldn't that be nice, Michael? We all know that just doesn't happen, but let's hear the rest of the story.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Quite the opposite. She only got attacked after she paid for this special protection. Ironic, don't you think? And this is the first time ever that she got attacked and infiltrated. So two things happened. She paid for something she didn't need, and then she had to get help to undo what she paid for. Her dreams, when I met with her, showed a problem, so I tuned in. Previously, I had done deep dream work with her and pointed out that she had a radar system that allowed for early detection of attacks and infiltration. She had previously taken steps to activate that, so she had stellar protection in place before supposedly paying for more. I could see that her radar system was unplugged. I told her what to do to reconnect it and watched. It powered up, and then 50 seconds later it was unplugged again. We tried again and got the same result. I asked her what got installed when she paid for the service. She said it was meant to be a device. When I looked at her, though, I couldn't see any device. What I could see was a short, blue, triangle-shaped minion-type being, mischievous and small. It was unplugging her radar protection. Didn't even look back at me. Didn't care about me. I could then see another 3 of the exact same type of beings in her in a higher location. So we got them expelled and got her radar protection back up and running, and she is her old self again. Why am I reporting on this? Well, in her case, it was somebody she trusted. We are naturally too trusting. When I teach people how to channel, I tell people don't trust me to corroborate everything that I tell them. Trust your guides above everyone else. And I can say that to people because I am diligent. I make sure I'm clear before every class, and I know that their guides are going to corroborate what I say because we're on the same team. And I say to do that with me so they get in the habit of doing that with everybody. And when they're approached by someone they should not work with, they'll be able to be told, even when it is somebody that they know. Joey doesn't just have a terrific radar system that warns her of attack. She can also use it to scan people to see if they are infiltrated. So I asked her on our call to use it with 2 specific people that she knew, one of which I knew was clear and the other has a walk-in. She was very reluctant to use her radar on them, but this points to the madness of trusting too much. We don't bring these tools, these special abilities to planet Earth to not use them. We bring them because we need them. If I say, go ahead and use your radar system on me, you can be sure I'm going to insist you use it on others, like you should be doing all the time, because if you did, you wouldn't get into hot water. Now, Joey is lucky because she has her own radar gift, but she may as well have left it in the wrapper. It's no good if you don't use it. And this is the problem that Sandy and I have been working on for over a year. Anyone working in the spiritual field is open to attack, either directly by a bad actor or indirectly if they are infiltrated and don't even know it. Over the years, we have paid tens of thousands to bring various specialists in protection into our channeling classes. Their protection had no lasting effect, so I stick with the solution I started with, which is every week I meet anybody who's done our classes and I clear them for free. Because I want people to be fearless to take on clients, knowing that if they get themselves into hot water, I'll get them out of it. And that's what we do every Wednesday. And that's been the case for years. But last year, we decided to solve this problem ourselves. Sandy trained 7 people in the techniques she uses to stay clear and to clear others. Sandy has no intention of teaching classes. As she puts it, I have no karma, so you can go and take a jump. So her goal was to train others to a very deep level so they could then train other people.
I don't know that I was quite so direct with you could take a leap. I just have no contract, no soul contract to do this training, but I felt it was needed. So I took the 7 people on and they have done leaps and bounds. Amazing. So go ahead.
Yeah, it is amazing. And like I said, that was over a year ago. And since then, the Magnificent 7 have been diligently honing their skills in aligning chakras, clearing infiltrations, clearing spaces, putting protection around people, around themselves and others so that they can work with dark clients or creating containers to work in to keep themselves clear and much, much, much more. And I am very delighted to announce that the class that is really the result of this year and a bit of work is going to launch on November 15th. And Sandy is going to interview the instructor of that class later on in the show. Sandy, anything to add?
I am over the moon that she is taking this on. She is the perfect person to do this. And I will tell you, anybody that's lucky enough to get into her course, and I mean lucky enough to get into her course, they are going to be over the moon. They're going to learn so much. She is fabulous at teaching this and has a lot of skills that she needs to bring forward to help people. And she's got some secrets, which she'll divulge later.
We're talking about a course that's coming up, but this applies to anybody, whether you do a course or not. You need to be diligent. This is really a continuation of what we talked about on last week's show. There are charlatans in the space. There are worse than that in the space. And you need to know how to stay diligent and protect yourself, and then how to get out of hot water if you get into it. Whether that's you have somebody around you that can help you, or whether you learn how to do it yourself. But vigilance is the best thing. Avoiding working with people who are nefarious or have nefarious links, that is the best solution. Just don't pick up a problem in the first place. And so I'm going to share some of the dreams from Joey on the show. You can see from these how the dreams are actually trying to warn her that there was a problem.
All righty, let's begin. I'm excited to see these dreams. So the first one is titled Weird Doctor Visit, and it's from Joey. My car had broken down. Bono and LeBron James, except they looked misshapen, were helping by pushing the car to the entrance. Bono was singing, and LeBron James's face was close to the window. As the car got there, I blew a kiss and said thank you to LeBron. I didn't have any direction on where to go once inside. I had to ask. The doctors were all standing around talking to each other. They seemed bothered that I was there. The person who was to see me wasn't there yet. He was coming from another facility. I had asked if this was the waiting room, as no one was helpful. One person in the waiting area was talking that they could smell Zoloft. I didn't know Zoloft had a smell. This disoriented person had quit taking it and was having difficulty because of stopping abruptly. In the doctor's office, he asked the nurse to give me a cigarette. I was to inhale and smoke it. I said, I don't smoke. I'm very sensitive to cigarette smoke. They said they understood, but it was okay. I don't understand why I'm to do this, I began, and then said, no. All righty, Michael, what do you make out of that dream?
Okay, so we don't have to go into much detail in this dream. We just point out where the issues are. First of all, Bono and LeBron James are misshapen. That's not a good thing. That's a red flag straight away, because imposters will often try take the shape of someone else. And if you can actually see spirits in a room, they will try look like maybe your pet dog or something like that. But they're very bad at it. They still think they're going to get away with it, but this is what to do. So that's a red flag right away. And then later on, the no help, You're in the hospital, nobody's helping at all. The strange smell, that's not a good sign either. In fact, isn't cigarette smell, Sandy, one of the tells that you have that something's up?
Yes, it's one of the tales that drives me nuts because there's nobody smoking around me, and yet all I can smell is cigarettes. And so then I'm looking for who it is and what they're doing in our house or wherever we're at.
And when you cleared the place, what happens to the smell?
It's completely gone. You can't even smell it.
So anyway, here we have another problem. We have a doctor asking the nurse to give Joey a cigarette. That shouldn't happen in a dream. It's, hey, you should take up these addictive habits. A very bad sign. First of all, the smell of the cigarette is a tell on its own, and the other smell is something that's off, that you know shouldn't be around. So anyway, this dream is full of tells. Now, these were the dreams she had before I met her. So she had the problem and had these dreams. And so when I met her and I looked at the dreams, it's like, okay, yeah, we can see in these, they were already telling you there was something off. So the point of looking at these dreams is if you see this in your dreams, you now know.
Alrighty, so the next one is titled Fire. Once again, this is by Joey, and this is another dream. Cindy and I are in a large outdoor area in a city where a festival was going on. At the edge of the area was a large church or a very old building. There were fire trucks, ladders, and flying ambulances. They were checking the church and the electrical wiring for potential fire hazards. Oh, very interesting. Cindy and I moved to the side away from the festival and sat on the grounds behind a car that was in front of a line of apartments. We were going to play cards. The car's tires were very thin, so I assumed it had been sitting there for a long time. I saw the car was moving slightly and realized there was a man sleeping inside it. Cindy and I moved away from it, but I saw the man get up and out. He said he was running late for work and told us to have a good day. Well, this is very interesting there, Michael. What do you make of that?
So it is interesting, but what's more interesting is what she said about how she felt right after she had the dream. So do you want to read that bit?
Yeah, so this is what she said. I woke up thinking this was similar to the perfume dream. I was shaken by it. I worked on clearing myself and then went back to sleep.
So she knew something was up. And she was spooked by the man in the car that she had discovered, which is not good. Cars in dreams represent our bodies. So a man sleeping in the car in a kind of a weird way that you're like, oh, this shouldn't even be happening, is also another tell. But the feeling she had, that's really it, the feeling that she had. And then there was other things that were going on in the dream, like there's a problem. We're looking for a problem. We haven't found it yet. We have all sorts of things going on to see what type of hazards are in play. So again, other indicators that you can look for in your dreams that tell you something is up.
All righty. Okay, let's move on. The next dream is titled Group Activities by Joey. In a theater with lots of people all talking to each other, I'm walking down the aisle saying hello. I see that one of the people I was talking to is a psychologist who has a book by Fleenor about 3 different perspectives or ways to respond to infiltrations or people that report seeing spirits, apparitions, or entities. Okay, Michael.
All right. So you see the consistency of our dreams. This topic is coming up. And this is what we've said many times on the show. If you're channeling and you don't ask your guides, are you infiltrated? They're not going to tell you because they're not going to look. They're not going to violate your space by looking at you in a way that you don't give permission for. But your dreams are going to tell you everything because your dreams know everything that's going on in your life. So look at your dreams and you don't need to be channeling on it. You already know. But it continues on.
All righty. To lighten the mood, I say, there's one now, being silly and pointing to the shadow of 2 people behind the slats of a window covering. To my surprise, she was momentarily scared. She was coming at it from an intellectual bent. Everyone was to come up with a small group game to play and practice over the next month. Right now was the creation of them and the teams. I was moving through, checking in on everybody. I found a young Steve Comito lookalike in an alcove, another psychologist, the book he was doing his thesis on. It was about people that reported being infiltrated, the cause, and what to say to them. Okay, Michael, this is crazy. It's like blatant spoken in her dreams.
Yeah, very much so. And then look at the Steve Comito lookalike. A lookalike is not a good one. Like, that's not the real person. You know, like they show up trying to look like other people. They don't do a good job of it, so you rarely fall for it. But it's just blatant in her dreams, that she has this problem. So the point here is, look at your dreams. Even if you don't understand your dreams, you're going to know there's something up, because here it's talking about infiltrations and what to do about them and educating yourself because you've got one. Like, it's super, super good in the dream. So let's continue on. So this dream is a continuation from last week. We're looking at dreams that show infiltrations and how to tell when something's off. And we're doing this because Sandy and I have been working for over a year on putting something in place that we can give to students in our school that they can use to clear themselves, to watch for infiltrations, do all sorts of things, clear spaces around them, clear spaces around other people, create containers so that they can be protected when they're working with people that they just don't know who they are, or maybe they do know who they are and they know there's something up and they have to protect themselves. So we've put a lot of work into this, and we're finally coming at the culmination of it, ready to launch a course. But this information on this show is relevant to you regardless of whether you ever do that course, because you can look at the information in your dreams, and if you see things like we're showing you in the dreams that we're covering now, you know there's something up, and you know you need to either avoid the person that triggered these types of dreams or do something to get yourself clear.
Mm-hmm. All righty. So this dream is titled Hospital Perfume Calendar, and it's by Joey. I'm in a large room of a hospital, in a hospital bed, awaiting the doctor to arrive. It was a teaching hospital, and I could hear the physician and the students outside my door. However, they were discussing a perfume. The physician was asking the others if they wanted to try it. He was saying it was okay to try because it was a government sanctioned, or okay because of who he was. Basically, I have the authority to say it's okay. They all sprayed it and then walked in. One showed me the amber bottle and set it on the window ledge above the bed. I said I was sensitive to smells and asked them to move it away. My friend Julie was with them and sat on the bed with me. She was explaining all that was going on for me. I seemed too groggy to speak fully. They asked her to leave and then asked me the last time I had spent significant time with her, as if to determine how up to date her info was. All right, Michael, there you go.
So the hospital setting represents healing, but the teaching doctor and the students abusing their authority show false spiritual permission. The idea that something is acceptable just because an authority says so, like the doctor in the dream. It's like, use this, it's okay because I said it, or use this because it's government sanctioned. Guides don't do that. In fact, they very much avoid doing that type of thing. They're very aloof in your dreams. And the reason they step back from that is they would link themselves with your karma. If they just showed up and said, do this and then do that and then do it, they may as well be doing it. So they're going to get the karma for the things you do, for the mistakes you make and all that sort of stuff. So it's just not how it's done. People don't show up in your dream like this and say, you can spray this perfume because it's government sanctioned. And then we also have the big pun in the dream. She says they all sprayed it and then walked in. So walk in is another term for infiltrator, but it's worse than an infiltrator. So an infiltrator is kind of like an amalgamation of contorted beings that will do the bidding of somebody else who's controlling them. Really horrible. If you can see them, they look like a cockroach. They're really disgusting insect looking, but ultimately that's not who they are. They're just being contorted by somebody who's really nefarious and bad and doesn't care what they're doing to angels. A walk-in is different. A walk-in is where the person that walks into your body is the evil person. They're nefarious. They're trying to control you directly, not via somebody else. So it's a much worse situation. That when they walk in, they tend to try take you over and slowly chip away at even your life support system. So you become dependent on them. They can't be extracted that easily. Anyway, what else have we got? The government sanctioned perfume. That's like the spiritually toxic influence disguised as legitimate or even blessed. Like the way he's saying, it's okay, it's government sanctioned. It's like, this is a blessed thing. You can do this. Really not a good thing in a dream. I like that she was sensitive to the smell. So that says that she has an intuition that lets her know something is up. And we saw that last time we looked at her dreams, that she has this radar system that tells her when things are off, even if other people endorse it. And she has to kind of like choke that down, like she said to me before, when I said, okay, look at these two people, tell me which one is bad. And she didn't want to do it. She did do it in the end, and she was accurate. But it's funny how we are. We're like, I don't really want to know. You need to know. And if anybody is wearing a mask in the spiritual field, just don't trust them. There's no such thing as a good mask. Anybody working in the light does not wear a mask. What else have we got? Being groggy is another tell, because this is what they do. A walk-in will do is they will get into your body and then they will try shut you down. And I've seen this in many dreams. It gets to the point where you'll have dreams where you are in a hospital bed in your own home and totally drugged. Essentially what she needs to do is stop looking for authority outside of herself and trust her own authority. Use her own abilities, use her own tools, discern truth from within rather than accepting credentials or hierarchy as enough for you to accept something. Did I explain that okay, Sandy?
Yeah, I think you did a great job on that. That's a really good dream.
Like I said, this dream's super important because these things happen, these things are real, and you have to watch your own space. That's on you. Use your own guides and team to help you stay clear of nefarious people because they are out there. And so Sandy is now going to have a conversation with our guest who's teaching the class in Ashling School to help you discern and help you clear yourself if you get into hot water and all the other things in between. And I think this is going to be fascinating to listen to.
All righty. Well, I am so excited. I am bringing on our fabulous Jessica, who is going to do an amazing class that has to do with protection and energy. So, Jessica, let's hear what you have to say. We want you to hear all about what you have planned.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. This class is called the Fundamentals of Divine Guardianship. And it's a 7-week course that's starting pretty soon on the 15th of November, which is on Saturday. And it'll run for about an hour and a half each week. And students will be taught how to clear themselves, protection, energetic and spiritual protection, but also working with energy, moving it for the purposes of protection and clearing. There will be lots of fun stuff on spiritual hygiene, energetic hygiene, and things like that. What I love about the class is that it's very practical. You'll be given a lot of things to work with. That's the fun part. The easy part is for me to teach it. The work is where it gets really fun for the students.
Yeah, because it involves practice and some special gifts that they're going to activate by doing this because they're going to learn how to use them. I am like over the moon that you're taking this on. I mean, we've covered the last 2 weeks on the radio show about people that have had infiltrators or have been duped or all kinds of stuff like that. And so, I mean, this is right up your alley.
Yes, and we've been talking about that so much lately. One of the big topics that I want to cover with the students is discernment and teaching someone how to tell if they're being attacked or not, what to do about it, how to respond, so on and so forth, in a way that respects everyone's sovereignty.
Excellent. That is just amazing. So when people come out of this class, they're going to have so many amazing gifts. You want to kind of list a few things they'll be able to do?
Yes, they'll be able to send energy, boost the energy of themselves or their clients or the people that they work with. They will be able to create energetic containers and obviously be able to clear themselves in many different ways. Let's say working and clearing the chakras all the way to clearing their spaces and their homes and things like that, but also themselves, like your energetic space and clearing yourself, how to deal with things like infiltrations. We're going to give them practical, very easy to implement basic building blocks to know how to handle these situations and to know the fundamentals and the principles of, okay, in this situation, this is what you want to bear in mind, and these are the several things that you can do. And then obviously you have to channel with your guides as to what is appropriate for what you're responding to.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love the fact that you're making them channel too. So one of the reasons why you were so absolutely perfect to teach this class, besides learning it and practicing all this stuff constantly, is we had an in-person retreat, and you and only one other person noticed the stuff that we were working with and all the attacks that were going on. And I know people felt it, but they had no idea really what was going on, but you knew. And you were able to help clear and provide stuff to help us get rid of some of the attacks that were going on in that space. It was an interesting space. You want to talk about that?
It was wild. On that particular day, it was excitement from the very beginning. I was just getting ready to go to the retreat. So that was a fun-filled day of being on alert, but also just working spontaneously with my guides as to what was needed, who I needed to talk to, if I even needed to let you or Michael know, so on and so forth. It was a very great learning experience for me, that knowledge goes into this course.
Mm-hmm. Which is fabulous. I love that. And it was very interesting because we knew stuff was going on. What had happened is we moved into a different room on the third day. And that room had been used by nefarious people that we didn't know. It was kind of their hideout. And yet it's still a public space. And so when we walked in, it's like we were just being hammered. And so we were working hard as a team. And I love the fact that you were able to see that and also help in doing the protection so we could make it through the day and have a wonderful retreat in-person outcome with no problems. Because in the end, it was a teaching lesson for all. And yet we still were able to have a fabulous day. So yes, thank you for your support on that day.
It was just another day in the life of Sandy and Michael Sheridan, though. Because you have to deal with this all the time.
Yes, we do. But we don't normally talk about it. And so I was excited to see how you were ready to do this type of training for others. So that was awesome to see.
Yes, and it's all thanks to you. And I wouldn't be able to do this and have this class if it weren't for the support of Aisling and you and Michael.
Well, I'm looking forward to this class. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And people are going to be
so fun.
I know, and people are going to learn so much.
The most fun thing that I find about this information and this course is that it's very empowering. It helps you root in your sovereignty, and it's not about fear. It's really about transmuting that fear into understanding, which gives you so much more empowerment to stand and root into your sovereignty so that nothing can mess with you.
I love it. That's beautiful. That's well said. So, Jessica, what got you into this? How did you start down this road?
I want to say I blame it on my higher self, because this sort of work, protection or clearing, battling the dark, let's say, is all rampant throughout my dreams. And it is very much a part of who I am and what I do on the other side. So it's something that is translating into this 3D.
Oh, that's fabulous. That is so perfect. I love the fact that you do this on the other side. You know you do this. And so you were able to bring these gifts forward. And now you're going to help so many people with theirs. That is awesome.
Yes, I'm incredibly excited.
Oh, cool. Good. Well,
Yay.
Congratulations. And I look forward to the start of this class on November 15th, which is a Saturday.
I'm so excited. This is going to be such great fun, and people are going to be so empowered.
There will be a link under this video so you can go out and get the information on this course, because I highly recommend it. It will change your life.